Does enforcing disorderly conduct offenses violate the First Amendment? Hey guys, my name is Anthony Bandiero, bringing you the Roadside Chat. So this question comes from an officer in New Jersey. So the officer says, takes a lot of my other online courses. And so I guess this might be a follow-up to some things I spoke about in my other classes. He says, I'm on a night shift here in Paterson, New Jersey. First of all, thank you for your service because last time I checked, Paterson can be a little bit of a war zone. My question is about disorderly person offenses, right? That's what New Jersey calls most of their crimes, like DP, disorderly person offenses. So it states that coarse and offensive language, unreasonably loud, can be disorderly person offense. But I'm also looking on some case law and whether the speech could be protected and so forth. All right, can you help me out here? All right, I'm just going to give you some. I'm going to use this video as an overview. I'm not going to dive into specific cases because the First Amendment is a very, very complicated area of the law. But I want to give you some feedback. Number one is, all right, the First Amendment, in my view, is one of the most protected rights that people have in America, right? So just be very, very cautious before you take enforcement action based on somebody's speech, right? But with that said, can we still enforce this, disorderly person offense, even though the crime itself is speech? And the answer is yes, as long as a few things are kept in mind. Number one is, what does the First Amendment really protect the most? And that is going to be political speech, right? Protests and so forth. I'm not saying that they can do whatever they want, but as far as what they're saying, they can pretty much say whatever they want, right? There's always exceptions, but just keep in mind that generally speaking, we're not going to be able to cite people, arrest people, because their language as they're protesting is offensive. And I really, really want to bring that home, right? If you have somebody coming up to you and they say, hey, officer, what these protesters are saying is offensive to me. It's offensive to my kid. You need to reply to them, hey, look, they're engaged in a lawful protest that is protected by the First Amendment. We do not take enforcement action against people because of what they say, even though people are offended. I understand that, your issues, and I understand and so forth. However, we can't do that, right? There are cases involving the KKK. Clearly, people are offended by their message, but the fact that people are offended does not mean that that group does not have a First Amendment right. But what cops can do is regulate time, place, and manner. What I mean by that is that time, place, manner is these things like, hey, look, can you bullhorn during a protest down Times Square? That's lawfully permitted and so forth, right? And the answer is yeah, right? You can use a bullhorn, I think, right? You can use sound amplification so that other people around you in this huge area can hear you, right? I'm just throwing something out there, right? We'll have to see, you have to have certain laws and so forth. But can you bullhorn your speech, whether it's political and so forth, at 2 o'clock in the morning in a neighborhood? And the answer is no, right? Place, hey, somebody wants to come in and do a protest. Does the city have the right to say, hey, look, yes, you can do the protest at the public park or in front of the city hall, but not in front of the jail where we're actually, your speech could cause a riot inside the jail and so forth. These are place restrictions. Manner restrictions go along with something I said before, like the bullhorn. Yeah, maybe the person walking down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning in a neighborhood can verbalize their speech, but getting on the bullhorn is right. So you may not be able to move them to somewhere else because they have a lawful right to be there, but you bring 100 people into that neighborhood, maybe you change the facts. The point is, you are allowed to do certain things, but be careful. Now, the other thing is purely offensive speech, people with mental illness just yelling at people, cursing at them, give me money, or I'm gonna, potentially cause harm to you. That's a little bit different, right? We're talking really about the speech that we want to be very careful about is political speech, about government, about religion, and so forth. Look, such a complicated topic. I do have a course, a webinar called Cops and Cameras. that dives deeper into the subject, I encourage all of you to take that webinar. It's about an hour or so. It can save you millions of dollars in lawsuits if you get it wrong, right? So it's very important that you understand the First Amendment. But I wanted to touch on this, generally speaking, but I'm glad the question was brought up. Hopefully it helps a little. If you have any more clarification, you want me to expound on it, let me know. And before you leave, if you can do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends. It really does help the channel. Until next time, my friends, stay safe.